we got a call from J.D. Dillard, good friend of mine, the director of that movie, and Black Label Media. And what's interesting is there's really cool aerials that just didn't make the cut, didn't make the movie, didn't fit in the timeline. I wish they would just make another version of that movie that was like 2 hours of the aerial content, because we had real MiG-15s operating in the wintertime in the Pacific Mountain, or the Cascade Mountain Range once again, but this time with like 70 and 80-year-old aircraft, so a little bit more challenging. We had real Corsairs, real Sky Raiders. It was a lot of fun. Real Bearcats. I think that's one of the first big feature films Bearcats have ever been on screen for, so that was cool.
How many real Corsairs were there?
We had 4. And that part was really fun. So as the aerial coordinator for that movie, I was given a lot of freedom. I wanted to make the aircraft as accurate as possible. So we basically brought in a painter to paint all these aircraft with movie paint and weather them so that they look like fleet airplanes. They needed to look like they weren't shiny $4 million museum aircraft. These needed to look like operational fleet aircraft in the Navy. So we had to dirty them up and make them look a little weathered and make them look like they were getting used a little bit. And that's what we did. We made all the bureau numbers correct. We made all the, we had different dash numbers. It's hard to get all the same dash numbers. I think they used dash 4s and dash 5s in the Korean War. I had 2 dash 1s. So the plane experts that watch the movie can look at it and be like, hey, the exhaust stack's in the wrong place there. But, Joe, we always say Joe the plumber, I'm sure he liked it. But
was Dave Folk one of them?
No, I don't recognize that name. No.
Yeah, I flew with a Corsair in an air show in St. Louis, and Dave Folk, he owned the airplane and he flew it. And the Corsair it's a massive airplane. It's so
cool.
Yeah, it's such a cool airplane.
It's got some serious ramp presence to it with that R2800 when that thing's running. It's so awesome.
Although I think he told me, and I don't know, maybe the Corsairs you use, but he said like they'd replace the engine with like a DC-6 engine or because the original motor wasn't.
Yeah, I think most of the guys do that. I think there's a lot of little mods that the Warbird guys do to make those motors run a little bit more efficiently and reliably.
Yeah.
They built like a mock-up carrier for that movie, right? Didn't they? Yes. On the ground somewhere?
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up. We're in, we started in the Cascade Mountain Range for all the cool aerials. And then we went over to Georgia, Statesboro. Cool little airport. If you ever go there, that's where the aircraft carrier was. We shut down a runway, we had to node them out the runway, and we built a full length tarmac, and then we built the superstructure, like the island. And there, the tower was up there and all the railings and everything and all the hatches. And the coolest thing is it would get foggy sometimes at nighttime and you'd be out on this runway. And with all the lights on the island and everything and on the deck, you felt like you were at sea or something. You're like, I can't believe it in an airport. It was a lot of fun. And we were running the Corsairs on that thing and just having a great time.
Yeah. Was Glenn Powell, so now you've just talked about 3 different films, features where Glenn Powell's involved. Was it Top Gun Maverick that got the inspiration for him to want to do Devotion, which did the IMAX, or how did your involvement with him? Is he like the next Tom Cruise now because he's getting in the military aviation?
I sure hope so. What a good guy, man. Glenn is just a true all-American good person. He loves aviation, as you can tell, and I think his love for aviation's kind of maybe sparked a lot of his roles in these films as well. But no, I think it happened by chance. He's such a good job on Maverick, and I think he got pulled in by Black Label, and then it just made sense to make him part of the Blue Angel thing. He was an executive, a producer, helping put that together on the Blue Angel. Yeah, but Glenn's great. It's kind of funny. We keep doing aviation movies together. I love it.
Do you have any creative, are you thinking at this point, are you strictly aviation, or you're like, hey, I can produce, maybe the next Airwolf or whatever?
Yeah, Airwolf. I know, that's our show. We're all going to produce that. That's our new future project. I love aerial coordinating. I can see myself probably doing more maybe even second unit directing, but second unit splinters like Devotion. I had a splinter unit up in the Pacific Northwest for a month where we were doing all the aerials for the movie. That's the stuff I could see myself being more of a director on, but also still flying. I don't want to hang up flying. The desk stuff's cool, but getting out there and actually putting the airplanes in the air and coordinating that and filming them or flying them, that's my passion. Yeah.